it's recording, but I can turn off anything that we don't need. Okay. Hi, Marsha. How are you today?
I'm doing well, Morgan. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. What's been going on since the last time I saw you?
Well, I've been having a lot of anxiety. I can't even sleep at night. It's been terrible. And having nightmares even. Feeling depressed sometimes. Panic attacks. And pretty much that's been affecting me at work, my work life, so it's been difficult.
Are you still working full time?
Actually, I have been working full time, but just today I just couldn't take it anymore, and I went into my boss's office and I was just like, I cannot do this anymore. It took me a long time to do something like this, and I know I probably shouldn't have, but I did. I kind of just blew up today. So.
What exactly did you say?
Well, I just said that I was so unhappy, and just for months, I just couldn't do this work anymore. It's a lot of physical work, and just with everything's going on and losing sleep at night, I really can't sleep at night. So it's just been terrible at work. So I think I'm going to take a few days off.
So that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
Get a little rest. All right, and everything at home can kind of be maintained, so you'll actually get that opportunity.
I think so. My husband is very supportive and helpful, so
Good.
Thank God for that.
Yeah.
So he'll help me. I know he'll be supportive, so.
Good, good. So, when you said you were having some anxiety or panic attacks, when do those come about? Do you know what you're doing when those happen, or what's kind of going on around you?
Usually I'm okay, but then certain things will come up at work. Like we actually have to do quite a bit of public speaking. You have to get in front of a bunch of people in a chapel. I work in a funeral home, and you have to direct them and let them know what we're going to be doing next. You know, we might go to the cemetery, or we're going to the church. And for whatever reason, I just get really, really anxious having to do that. And sometimes that's what triggers it.
Yeah.
So.
How long have you been at your job? How long have you been doing this work?
I've actually been there for about 4.5 years.
Okay. So is this anxiety that you're experiencing, and you've been in the same position the whole 4.5 years?
I have not been in the same position.
Okay.
No, now that I have more responsibility, I think it has everything to do
Okay.
with my anxiety.
So you've kind of identified that?
Yes, before I was non-essential, non-essential in the workplace, and now I feel like I have so much responsibility, and just a lot is weighing on me all the time, and people are counting on me, and it's difficult.
Yeah, sounds like it. Sounds like it. And how long have you been in this position?
About a year now.
Okay.
Just 1 year.
Has this anxiety been present from day one? Or did it kind of creep up, or was it a gradual thing?
I actually think that, it wasn't the whole time. I think just in the past few months, it started to get worse. I don't know. I really couldn't even put my finger on it. I really don't even know why. A year ago, I do remember that it was not like this. And then all of a sudden, I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just not liking what I'm doing. I don't know.
That's an idea.
Yeah.
That's an idea. Is this the first time you're kind of asking yourself or putting that out there? Or
Starting to.
Okay, all right.
Starting to ask myself this. I'm not really sure. Maybe just this work isn't for me. Working in a funeral home is extremely stressful. I mean, I still cry at funerals. Literally, I cry at funerals, and I'm working there, and it's just we see the most painful things sometimes, and I've seen some of the most terrible things.
Yeah.
And I think I'm just maybe tired of it.
Yeah. Have you, are there other options for you?
I'm sure there are, but I thought this was something that I loved for such a long time, so I kind of kept trying to find that love again for it. But I think I'm going to try to find something different for myself. At least take a break.
That sounds wise. That sounds
Yeah.
wise, and I think that something, that's scary to, kind of, and you can tell me if you relate to this, but the idea of something new, you've been there for 4 years, it's been something that you've been doing for, a while now, and while you change positions to something new, you're kind of contemplating the idea of doing something new, and you said maybe even outside of the funeral business. So what are the feelings surrounding that?
It's kind of scary because I sacrificed so much of my time to be where I am today. So it's kind of scary to know that something that I worked so hard on may be all for nothing. But I know everything works out the way it's supposed to. So I think that I'll be okay. I think I just need to step out of my comfort zone and just take a chance and just see what happens.
That sounds really courageous and exciting, and it sounds to me like you're really in touch with kind of what you want. While it's hard, it's a hard step to make, but you're giving yourself what you need, which is that rest and to kind of reassess some things. So is this the first time in your life you've ever experienced anxiety?
No, actually this would be, it's been really bad the past few months. There's been one other time in my life a few years ago where I had many panic attacks actually. I would wake up in the middle of the night just totally scared, and I didn't know, I couldn't sleep. I want to say I couldn't sleep with the lights off, but I couldn't sleep with the lights on either. There were times where I was taking a shower and I would have someone stand outside of the bathroom just so I wasn't alone.
Comfort.
Yeah, so, and it was just a really scary time in my life. But that was probably about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I had felt like this.
Did you ever kind of figure out where that was coming from? Did you have an answer for yourself? Like right now you know that it's probably the work situation that's weighing on you. Was it the work situation then, or were there other things going on?
It may not have been. I think I was perfectly okay with my work situation. However, I did have children at the time. I had lived with my parents forever and had just moved out of my parents' home with my kids into my boyfriend's home. He was the father of my kids, and my parents left to Florida, and I was in New York. So maybe that had something to do with it. Huge change.
Yeah, huge change. So, when I think in a lot of ways, when changes like that happen, or when we're under a lot of stress, anxiety can be quite, normal. How did that situation end up resolving itself? Did it just sort of dissipate? Did you do anything to help yourself?
Well, that situation probably lasted for about 6 months. I felt like I couldn't live without my parents. I grew up with them and I lived with them forever. So, about 6 months after they moved, I left my boyfriend. We were still going to try to work things out. He was going to follow me to Florida where my parents were, but it never ended up happening either. So, yeah, and it's okay. It was all right, but it was a lot of big changes.
So you came home, and coming home just sort of corrected
Going to Florida and seeing my parents, and then I moved in and lived with them for a long time, a few more years.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely had felt better being back with my parents again.
Yeah. Are the anxiety attacks the same as they were back then? Like the same symptomology? What right now do you experience when you have a panic attack? Or
I would say heart beating fast, waking up in a sweat, feeling scared. That's what's happening now, and honestly, it's so similar to what I experienced years ago.
Okay.
And I don't even know how that situation back then resolved itself. It just kind of did one day, with time.
Do you kind of trust in this that there'll be a resolution to this as well? Is there an underlying trust that you have?
I do. I do think so because I mean I've done it before.
Yeah.
But it's hard when you're in the moment. It's hard when you're going through it and going through that phase again.
Yeah. Marsha, it sounds like, you're really, you've got a lot of strength inside of you. You've overcome, you've had that experience, and you took care of yourself. You did what you knew you needed to do. And you're doing that again with the job, or with taking the break that you need, and reassessing, the whole career thing. Yeah, I think that's wonderful. So what, do you have anything in mind as to where you want to go from here if you did leave the position you're at now?
I am not sure. I know I like to work with people, and I want to help people. I think ultimately that's the goal at the end of the day, to be of service. But exactly what, I'm not really sure. But I'm sure I'll find it. I'm just gonna take a break right now, and maybe something will come to me.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I'm
not trying to force anything.
Yeah, that's awesome. So how's everything else going on in life? And
good, everything is good. Husband is good. He treats me well. He's super supportive. So I make him crazy sometimes, but it's okay.
Oh, well, that's good. I had an idea for you're proposing a big transition for yourself in your life, and you said that the instance before with the anxiety, that was about 10 years ago. So a lot has changed since then. You've grown as a person, you've matured as a person. I was just thinking, and if this is not something that you really need or are open to, or see relevance in, that's totally fine. But there are some techniques that you can use in the middle of an anxiety attack, and if you're open to them, I can share those with you, so that if while you're going through this transition and things are still a little unsure right now, I mean, you're kind of the ground below you is a little, you're tending to your garden, let's say, or it's kind of just some raw stuff going on right now. So to build that stable ground, you might find it helpful to have some tools. Are you interested in anything like that?
I'm so open to that. Yeah,
Okay.
Anything to help.
Yeah. Have you ever worked on some breathing exercises?
I have not. No.
Okay. All right. So a little background on that. When the body is going through an anxiety attack, our heart can race and we can get panicky and we feel like doom and gloom is happening, So the body is having a physical reaction. And we can use breathing to help calm down the body, which can help calm down the mind, which can help bring a sense of peace back to the present moment. And so a technique that I can share with you. So, all right, so I'll just demonstrate it for you, and then if you'd like to, we can do it together. So whatever is going on, we're breathing anyway, so we can kind of stop and do breathing wherever we are. But if you're getting that feeling going, one of the first things you can do is, kind of reassure Marsha and say, you know what, I'm okay, and I'm okay right now. And if you're really not okay, I trust, in your ability to reach out for help, because it's clear you've got a supportive husband and a supportive family, and you've really tapped into those resources. So, but if you're having an anxiety attack, you can just kind of reassure yourself that everything's okay in the present moment, and you can take a breath and you can fill the belly up with air, and you can hold it at the top for a count of 4 or 5 or whatever's comfortable, and then you can slowly, with control, release that. And then you can do that again. You can inhale and hold at the top, and then slowly release that. And that's going to send a message to your central nervous system that, hey, everything's okay right now.
Okay.
And the heart will calm down a little bit, and it'll send messages to your mind that things are, a little bit more in control than what we initially were thinking a second ago. So would you like to try that?
Absolutely, I would
Okay.
like to try it.
So let's
Are
get.
you breathing through your nose and out through your mouth, or however, it doesn't matter?
Yeah, that's a great question. So what I prefer is I breathe through my nose and out of my nose, just because I was talking, but if you really need to breathe out that exhale with your mouth,
Okay.
feel free to be dramatic with it. It's
So it
cool.
doesn't matter. Okay.
Exactly.
Right.
So whatever your body is comfortable with. But what I like to do to prep for that is to get grounded. So I really want to know that I'm in the present moment. So I put my feet, on the ground. I can feel the ground beneath me, and I'm already noticing that I'm more supported than I maybe thought I was initially. And so I'm going to inhale through the belly, hold at the top for 4 counts maybe. And when you're ready, you can slowly, with control, allow that air to exhale from the body. And then when you're ready, you can fill the belly with air again. Hold at the top. And slowly let that go. And you can do this as many times as you want. As many times as you need.
It does feel relaxing.
Does it feel good?
It does. I think that would probably be helpful.
Good. Well, try it out.
Absolutely.
If it doesn't
I'll keep you posted on it.
Yeah,
I'll try it next time.
If it doesn't work, that's okay. I've got some other tricks up my sleeve.
Yeah.
But
No,
just to
that's good.
know that there's something that you can do in the present moment, because that can get kind of scary and nerve
Sure.
nerve-wracking to feel that. So, but it sounds like you're doing amazing.
Thank you.
You know that there's some things that you want to change. And I really am excited to hear, the next time we meet, I want to hear, what you've got going on and what you're kind of thinking about and how that rest and relaxation time went for you. What are you going to do with that time? Have you thought about it?
I have no idea. I don't know. But I'll have it, and that's what counts. So that's good.
Maybe you do nothing.
I know.
There is a thing. It's called Wu Wei, and it's the art of doing nothing.
Really?
It is. It's a thing.
Okay, sounds good. I'm going to do that. Sounds good.
Well, Marsha, it was really good to see you this week. I look forward to seeing
you too. Thank
next
you so
week.
much.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. So we'll see you then, okay?
All right.
All right.
Thank
You have
you,
a good
Morgan.
week.